every single name in the video. Like, I've changed every single name for privacy besides my own, because I was in the group and I feel compelled to not lie to you. And I feel compelled to tell you my part in it, basically. So, here's my diagram. I've spent, no joke, like 5 hours working on this thing. So you can kind of see here, at the bottom it says, the polycule swingers from hell, or everyone knows everyone, in parentheses, carnally. That gives you kind of an idea of, what's going on here. Also, my phone camera, I'm using the back phone camera instead of the front like I normally do. So, I'm honestly scared that things aren't getting recorded, but that's okay. So we can kind of start out by, I'm right here. So I had a best friend. I had this best friend. We used to be best friends. And at one point we liked the same person. And then they dated, and I was really upset about that. Because I liked the person. I liked Isabel first. But Sarah actually got with Isabel. This was in 8th grade, mind you. Later on, I met and dated my ex-best friend's best friend, Betsy. I have to remember what names I've given to these people. And then, from then on, that's kind of the only connection there. But going back to my best friend, my best friend dated this girl, Isabel, and then Isabel dated this girl named Harriet. And then they were together for a long time, like several years, on and off, but they were still together. And then Isabel and Harriet broke up. Harriet broke up with Isabel on her birthday. On Isabel's birthday, which was crazy work. And that was last year. And then, at some point in one of the off times, Harriet hooked up with Sarah, my friend. They kind of like got together a little bit. And then Sarah also at one point dated this guy named Burger. And Burger is evil. But then Burger also dated Lee at one point, and Lee and Harriet were also together in like a little situationship at one point. So then we have the Sarah, Isabel, Harriet triangle. After Harriet broke up with Isabel, she very quickly got with this guy. He's named Evil because I genuinely think he is evil. But the only people in this little like square right here that haven't dated are Sarah and Evan. And I'm gonna be honest, I could see that happening. But they're definitely close friends. Despite me saying that I don't like the evil guy because he's evil. And then so we have this guy named Jared. I used to like Jared. In fact, I might still do. Who knows? He kind of pisses me off though, so I pretend I don't. I liked Jared. Jared's best friend, Valerie, liked me back in middle school. And then Valerie is currently dating this person named Alex, and they've been dating for like a year and a half now. However, years ago, my freshman year of high school, I met Alex's sister, Jill, and we were friends. And I actually, it's not pictured here, but I got with Jill's best friend. That was my first boyfriend. We'll call him Dylan. I got with Dylan freshman year, which was great. It was very exceptional too, just not my type, or like not a good relationship for me. And then so Valerie is best friends with Jared. Jared is also best friends with Mel. And Valerie is also best friends with Mel. Mel is dating Lee currently. But the thing is that Mel, I didn't write it on here, but Mel and Burger are also really good friends. Percy is friends with like most of the people on here, but he's also deeply homophobic, or he used to be. So there is this like, I used to have to desensitize this man to gay people, and I would argue with him on the fact that I was allowed to, be a human and have rights, because my ex-best friend is also pan, and or bi, but he just pretended that she wasn't, and they're still dating, by the way. Dump your Republican boyfriend. So anyway, Percy is close friends with, like, Parker and this guy named Lynn. Parker and Lynn are childhood best friends. Lynn and Bert are also childhood best friends. Lynn and Bert, well, Lynn had a crush on a girl named Lily in middle school, and then that lasted for a while, and then Bert, his best friend, was in this weird situationship with Lily, because what happened was Bert moved at the beginning of high school, like the summer. It was the summer before 8th grade. Bert moved up to New York, and then that was when Lynn started having a crush on Lily, and that was kind of on and off. Nothing really ever happened between them, and that's fine. Like, nothing needs to happen. But then later on in high school, Lily and Bert had this online situationship kind of thing. I'm just gonna move this back up here. I hope you can see this. I'm not re-recording this. But so here's the big thing. All of these people. Also, this evil guy, he hates me. He genuinely hates me. We met in elementary school, and he would pretend, or not then, but back in elementary school, it always had to be about him. We couldn't play anything else. Like, we always had to play what he wanted to play, and I wasn't allowed to pick any of the games we could play. And then one time, everyone wanted to play the game I wanted to play, and they didn't want to play what he wanted to play, and so he started hitting me with his jacket zipper. And that's why my mother hates him. But anyway, evil guy, he actually hates me. He ignored me like almost the entirety of high school because he just didn't think I was like deserving of being recognized as a person. Little lore drop for you. And the other thing about that is every single person that knows him on this board, with the exception of Jill and Alex, because they don't know him like that, they were complicit. And Betsy, except for those three people, they were all complicit in letting the evil guy treat me in an evil way. And honestly, that's why I'm not in the friend group anymore, because none of them stood up for me. And like, they can, like, some of them will say like, oh yeah, well, I told him to not do that. But the issue is, at the end of the day, he still did it. And if you didn't cut ties with him because he was being an asshole to someone you called your best friend, then you didn't actually stand up for them. So he ignored me pretty much all of high school because I'm not a real person, I guess. But the big thing about this entire friend group is that they're all friends. Like, they're all still friends, and they just keep dating. There's like an airplane outside. I'm sorry, guys. And they just all keep dating each other. They just keep dating each other. Like, I genuinely think that at some point, this is just going to form like a giant polycule, because everyone in this square is bisexual or like pan in some format. Also, like, I refuse to believe that any of these people are fully straight, because I don't know, it's giving polycule from hell. Also, this is like my whole little key over here. We've got dating, dated, situationship, crushed on, best friends, ex-best friends, friends, siblings, and then hate crimed or hates. I say hate crimed because Percy definitely hate crimed me a few times, which was awful, and I really don't know why. My ex-best friend is still with him. She's like, oh, he's changed. Maybe that's a Catholic, conservative MAGA man. I don't care if he's changed. You only like him because he has biceps. pictured on this is that I have genuinely thought about my compatibility with every single guy on here, and have been curious as to that at some point, but that's genuinely only because I'm queer, and, there aren't men that want to date me down here, so you do the next best thing, and you make things up for yourself. Anyway, that was my, this is my map of the polycule swingers from hell. I genuinely hope nobody in my old friend group watches this video, because I feel like they'll eat me alive, but the thing is, like, they'll only know who I'm talking about if they're in the friend group, right? Like, nobody else on the internet is gonna understand this unless you're in the friend group. So guys, I'm not sorry I spilled your shit to the entire internet, because this is really fucking funny. Like, I genuinely don't think you can understand how funny this is, because they're just like swapping people out at this point. Like, it's like when you think a configuration doesn't work, so you just change out the parts. That's what's going on here. I'm really glad I'm not part of this anymore, because as entertaining as it might be, the changes that this happen, they happen so constantly and frequently. And so now we've kind of got more defined friend groups formed, I fear. So like Valerie, Jared, Mel, Evil, Isabel. Valerie, Jared, Mel, Evil, and Isabel. They're all kind of like friends now. Like, they've got their own little friend group. There's some other people in there, including Mel's girlfriend. And they call themselves like the something 6. It's really stupid. Or 7, because there's a different person there. There's like one more guy, but I didn't put him on there because he's genuinely like a kind and sweet soul, and he didn't deserve to. He's also Mormon, so it's like this isn't really a scene. But they've got their own little friend group. Lynn has kind of branched out. I just shook the table, my bad. Lynn has branched out, and he's got more friend groups. Like, he's still friends with most of the people here, but he's been doing his own thing, and that's pretty chill. Same thing with Lily, but like, Percy is still friends with a lot of people on here. Parker friends with a lot of people on here. This is more of a friend group that way, but Lily isn't really like super. She's still pretty big friends with all of them. Honestly, I think the only reason I'm ever actually like genuinely bitter about this is, one, because they just kind of unfriended me out of nowhere. Like, it's so annoying being in a group chat and then watching them all make plans, and then you just like realize that, like, oh yeah, I'm not invited to that. Or you ask numerous times, because the evil man, he had the house that everyone would make plans at, and so we'd all be like, okay, like, what are we doing? Where are we going? And I would ask him, be like, am I invited to this too? Because he was ignoring me for most of high school. So I was like, well, I want to know if I get to go, and he would never respond. And then someone would like privately message me. They'd be like, no, like, you can't go. Like, he doesn't want you to go. And I'd be like, well, just fuck me, I guess. And so anyway, within that, they just unfriended me out of nowhere. And I don't say out of nowhere. It was because they let the evil man into the group, and he has a personal vendetta against me. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. So anyway, that happened. And then, so they let him into the group, and then all of a sudden everyone started unfriending me. But like, that's chill actually, because if you're not gonna stand beside me, even though we've got a 5-year-long friendship, then, I'm just not gonna bother. Looking back over all of this, it's really funny. I think of the people I have actively been either dated or have gone on a date with, or have just dated. I think I've dated like 3 of these people. Oh yeah, Betsy. Funny story. Dated them. Yeah, no. Actually, just like I dated like 2 of these people. the exception of